If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed.
And a child shall lead them.
Vina Zane, we have reached the end, my friends.
Not the end, just the beginning of the end.
Yes.
We're on our last song on the DJ Nick stream. This song is called Warriors of the World United. Vinny's going to tell us what the name of the band is. Go ahead, Vinny.
I don't know the name
right
of the
here.
band.
I'm showing it to you.
Feuerschwanz?
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. Napalm Records.
Napalm's pretty bad.
Yeah.
What instrument is that?
I don't know. I like the paint.
Hey! 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 Hey!
Oh, that is weird. It's like cranking.
What could go wrong?
Here our soldiers stand from all around the world, waiting in a line to hear the battle cry. All together cheer, victory is near.
The sound will fill the hall, bringing power.
Let's go!
We alone are fighting for metal that is true. We own the right to my brothers to fight by my side.
Gather my horse and weapons. Tell my family how I died.
Until then I will be strong. I will fight for all that is real.
Oh, who stand in my way will die by steel. Brothers everywhere, raise your hands into the air. We're warriors, warriors of the world. We're the warriors of the world. Like thunder from the sky, sworn to fight and die. We're warriors, warriors of the world. Song of fight and die. Brothers everywhere, raise your hands into the air. We're warriors, warriors of the world.
Wow.
Thunder from the sky, sworn to fight and die. We're warriors, warriors of the world. Brothers everywhere, raise your hands into the air. We're warriors, warriors of the world. Like thunder from the sky, sworn to fight and die. We're warriors, warriors of the world. We're warriors, warriors of the world.
Talk to him,
Wow.
brother minister.
Wow,
Yes, Pinky.
that was cool. That girl was definitely the best. They should have featured her more.
Well, the vocalista.
Well, there was a multiple.
Apparently, there's
female vocalists in there, I thought.
thing. There's a musical instrument called a hurdy-gurdy. That's that little thing. That
she was spinning around. Wow.
275. That's my guy. He says Eric Adams is furious. I don't know. I think this might have been a cover or something like that. That shit was cheesy as hell, bro.
It was, but it was. But I thought that
It was originally by a band called Manowar. But sometimes cheese is okay.
yeah, I just like I put it in a certain bracket. And then I didn't even realize it was cheesy until like somebody said it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it is actually." But it was like I liked that it was showing both feminine and masculine strength. You know, we were having this conversation last night.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I liked that. That they were like the men and the women were both featured, but like they both had a strength that was being expressed, and the paint that they did on their faces, I liked that. I liked the energy, like the warring together, and then, you know, warriors of the world unite. It's kind of corny sounding, but I don't know, gathering together and like, I don't know, whenever I see stuff like that, like warrior women, I feel like I was born at the wrong time or something. I'm like, I wish I could have, you know, I'm not doing ballet. It's out, babe. It's completely out. I'm offended that you even said it. Carry on.
Well, you were asking me. Look, you know, the WNBA. It's like, I mean, it's tolerable, but it's not a major sport. Mm-hmm. And if there was a female football league, you know exactly what would happen.
Yeah,
it would
but
be
I don't
fun,
feel like it's that.
Would be fun
I feel
to
like
watch. The only way that thing would work is if you know what they would do to make that work. A female football league. So, I mean, it's look. Go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
you know, like they have those shows where people like compete to like, you know, grabbing onto stuff and doing
American
all these
Ninja
different things,
Warrior.
like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where it was
American Ninja Warrior.
specifically geared toward, I don't know, somehow like a feminine edge to it, like where you wouldn't be thinking this would be better if it was men. You know what I mean? Like something I don't know how it would look or whatever, but
it's impossible because women are not as strong as men. They're not.
Babe,
constructed
it's not
like
about
men.
the goal of being strong. It has to be about something else.
No, I'm saying the reason that those sports are not as popular is because they're not doing these impossible feats of physical.
That's why I think it would be more
Dominance.
in the realm of the arts, like combining that with the arts.
I agree with you. That's what I was saying yesterday. Ballet is
yeah, but you just said ballet, and I didn't
ballet
like.
is a form of physical art. You dismissed it because
I don't like ballet.
To me, but that takes a lot of strength.
Yes,
and
it
grace.
does. It does.
And you just summarily dismissed it. But
Yeah,
I
because
think
I don't like it.
I think that's cool. But I mean. But yeah, I mean, I liked it. The Warriors, they did a.
But that girl was definitely the best.
They
should have
badass.
featured her more.
They were badass for sure.
Her voice.
What do you mean? The girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, the female vocalist. Vocalist is always going to work unless the girl cannot sing at all.
Yeah. Yeah, but she was her voice was really, really good. I think they should have featured her a lot more.
I agree.
I
agree
was like,
110%.
because it looked like they were going through everybody, and then they were going to do like another spin around the sun with everybody, but then it felt like they were just kind of looping the men. I'm like, no, they shouldn't be doing this. They should.
Well, Amy was saying the same thing. Mm-hmm. She was saying that the girls should have been more focused. But and there's nothing, the oh my god, I'll never understand this.
Brooke the cheaters is what made it great.
No, I like the cheese. I like it. Sometimes you need the cheese, but I mean it was kind of thick. I think your wife means it's okay for women to show their Amazon warrior side. Yeah.
Yes, I think that's what I'm saying, and I feel like
I wasn't saying that wasn't okay.
I feel like that there's always like so much focus on beauty and stuff that it's like, like even the women in the video, like everything, like from their makeup to their costumes to their body movements, everything was like aesthetically pleasing, and I think that I kind of like
well, the men
I don't
were
know, like
there were no overweight men in that video.
Yeah, but the men, I don't have the energy to go over it. No,
but like if you're a warrior and you've made a career of war fighting, you're gonna be fit. Mm-hmm. Like especially that kind of war fighting. I mean, you can get away with being a bit out of shape now, but generally speaking, that kind of war fighting, and you got to run, traverse miles a day, and then, have all this cardiovascular work. You're generally going to be fit. I mean, I think that's just, at some level, we got to be historically accurate. I mean, I agree. I think that, I just don't understand why it's so important to you that women are represented as being battle-hardened warriors. Like, why is that important?
No, the thing is, like, you're completely misunderstanding me.
I know, that's why I'm asking you
I
the
don't know
question.
how to explain it. Like, I'm not talking about women being battle-hardened warriors. I'm talking about women because there's a platform for men to be celebrated for what makes them masculine, and I don't feel like there's a platform for women to be celebrated for what makes them feminine.
I completely disagree with you.
Okay, since you're a woman, tell me all about this.
I don't have to be. You don't have to. You just said there's a platform for men to be celebrated. So you're not a man. So I guess you can't say that.
I mean, we all know that football is celebrating men. Okay, where's this platform where women are celebrated for their femininity, for them being women, not for them having to like masculinize themselves to be like men, or for them to have to be like a Miss America pageant.
Well, football. What do you think the percentage of men in America are that could make an NFL team?
I don't know. It must be low.
It's less than 1, right?
I don't know.
So I don't. Football is not the celebration of masculinity. It's a celebration of peak masculinity.
Yep.
I mean, even those guys are all on performance-enhancing drugs in one way or another. So football is almost a fiction of masculinity.
Yeah, but
I don't know what
the way that they're constructed is a byproduct of them doing what they're doing. Like, they have to be in the sport is not about what they look like. Their body has to be in shape because of what they're doing.
What they're
but
calling
it's their
their body to do.
skill that is on display. And it's, the crazy shots, catching it and putting it up against it and catching it like that.
Damn
Like,
you, David
that's what
Tyree.
makes everybody freak out is when their skill level like defies what you think was going to happen, and it's celebrated. Where I don't feel like that there's something, and don't get, it doesn't have to be a sport. It could be something in the arts, or maybe there is something that I'm just not aware of where a woman is celebrated for whatever the peak of womanhood is, like that is put on display for people to be like, holy shit, wow, that was crazy. And that there's a draw to watch that, like there's a draw to watch football.
Why do you have to exclude beauty from that?
Maybe because beauty is like, it doesn't take any skill to be beautiful.
Yeah, it doesn't take any skill to be 6'9" either.
No, but it does take skill. You can be 6'9" and not be able to make it to the NFL. I know lots of tall people that thought they were going to make it, but they didn't have the skill. So what's on display is how excellent they are at their craft.
But then when I do talk about something that does necessitate skill, you just dismissed it.
What are you talking about?
I didn't dismiss it, you did. I said ballet, and you're like, I don't care about ballet.
No, I said I'm not interested in ballet.
But there is a platform where women are being celebrated for skill and strength, which would be ballet.
Yeah, I just don't feel like that ballet like shows. I don't feel like it captures like womanhood. I just don't think it does. I don't feel.
Define. Okay, let's go. Let's do this. Let's do it this way.
I don't have answers. to these
Define.
things.
Define what you're talking about by womanhood.
That's the thing. I can't even describe it because it's almost like. It's almost been not. I don't know. I really don't know. Because you hear, it depends on which circle you go in. So if it's in the evangelical circle, then, it's submission and bearing children. If it's, if you go in another thing, it's...
Wait, say that last part again? About bearing children? Say that again. What did you say? If you go to one place, it's what now?
It's submission and bearing children. Like, that's the epitome of womanhood in certain circles. So I'm saying, like... This, you're able to see the male skill on display in football and how they all have to work together. And the celebration is the teamwork of it, the aspect of it. Like, you can be ugly, it doesn't matter. You have to be skilled, though. And you have to have full control of your body. Because when you don't have full control of your body, that's how you lose the ball. That's how people land with the ball in their hands and then they don't get it.
Yeah, but you don't want to be celebrated. It appears to me that you don't want to be celebrated for the things that the Bible celebrates women for.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, skillfully raising children.
There it is. No, see, you keep misunderstanding me, and it's pissing me off. I'm saying that there is no sport or art thing that you can see. We can't turn on the TV and watch a woman raising her children.
You can turn on TV and watch ballet. You don't want to.
I just said that I don't think that displays womanhood.
I disagree with you because it shows the grace. It shows the feminine qualities, but it also takes a lot of strength to do what those girls do with ballet. But
it's not exciting enough.
You don't value that.
No, it's not exciting enough. It's boring.
To me, this conversation is a microcosm of a confusion of modern American feminism. Where on the one hand, there's this resentment towards men because we hang out in our masculine glory, but on the other hand, there's this complaint that there's nothing for them, but then the things that are distinctly female, you reject it.
No, and secondly,
or it's not as exciting.
Ballet's not about like a team aspect of it, where you get to see women all working together and celebrating all together at the end.
Volleyball. See, there you go again. You see what I'm saying?
I don't feel like that captures womanhood.
That's a team aspect.
It doesn't capture womanhood. You can put men playing volleyball too.
Girls play basketball.
If girls play football, it doesn't have the same feel as watching guys on the football field.
Yeah, that's because men are...
And I want the same for us, that if you put a guy there, it's not satisfactory. We want to see women doing whatever art or sport or whatever it is.
But there's going to be no physical activity where that's ever going to work, ever. That's never going to happen. There's never going to be anything physical that a woman does that a man cannot do better than them.
No, I didn't say it has to be physically. I didn't say it has to be physically. You keep getting like bogged down on these things, and you're missing what I'm saying.
I said raise children.
I said you can't. No, you can't tune in and watch a woman raising her children.
Okay, so then are you talking about a sport?
It doesn't. If I say sport, then you say the sport is like it's geared like war for men. I'm saying it doesn't have to be a sport, an activity.
I'm asking you.
I'm telling you. I don't know what it would be, but I want to see something.
That's my point about modern American feminists. This is a confusion that you guys have because you reject the things that are distinctive and definitional about women. And so, because those things are rejected...
No. Ballet does not have the team aspect of it where you celebrate because you won together as a team. You don't see a bunch of women doing a team. I want to see women working together and celebrating each other. You don't see that. When the sports thing gets over and they're, high-fiving each other and hugging each other and they all get in that crew, we don't have that. We don't have that.
Yeah, but why? My question is, why is that?
Oh, I'm sure you've got some reason. I'm sure there's a reason for it, but I don't know.
No,
I feel like it's because women have been oppressed for so long.
You're the man.
When you're the man.
I'm saying I'm the man, so I could tell you why dudes have sports like that and things like that, and why they're so emotional. When we won the championship and all that, I could tell you why dudes are like that. But you tell me why there aren't anything like that with women.
I don't know. It just seems like they're I don't know. I don't know if it's because we're, men left their family and they went off to war and like that was celebrated if you were a great warrior because it was a necessity.
Yeah, Christina, you can't blame this on the Bible. You can't blame the Bible for the fact that the WNBA isn't as cool as the NBA. Like,
honestly, I feel like the answer is in the Bible.
It's not like
I just can't find it.
It's not like the secularists are offering her a different solution.
No, there's no there's no solution that I've heard of that's satisfactory to me. Where I'm going to see if there was like, and you know what? To be honest with you, maybe it's like. Maybe the stuff that I want to see is something that died a long time ago. Maybe it's the makes me emotional. Maybe it's the the village of women working together, when they would raise their children or they would birth their children. I think that the posts that girl that I read you a lot of her posts, I think her posts are so moving because she voices this need or this like fallout within I don't know, women culturally, like we're all separated and there's just not like a lot of closeness with women. There's, I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying.
But I don't want to see a sport because I do feel like that part of the like epitome of womanhood is child rearing. I just don't know how does that get like I want to see, like when you see football, does it inspire you to want to be great at whatever your capabilities are for your physical makeup?
Well, that's because I'm built to be physical as a protector, as a man. That's my role.
So then that would be a yes.
And in the home.
And I want to see something that inspires me in womanhood.
Well, the question is, I know as a man why I'm a man and why I'm strong. I know why I'm the strongest person in this house.
Yeah. I
understand that. And I know that my strength is not cultural conditioning. I have a very specific purpose. I'm the strongest person in this house because if some motherfucker tries to come in here, I'm going downstairs. Mm-hmm. And it would be shameful for me to hide behind you or my kids. I need to be the one that confronts that threat at the door. So when I see men who are at the peak of their physical strength, it inspires, or who play through pain and setbacks, and when I see Tom Brady's mental toughness, I know as a man I have to apply that for my family. I got to apply some mental toughness to my family. There have been so many times when I was, working for the man, I had to apply a certain degree of mental toughness. When I look at Tom Brady's work ethic, I go, okay, that's the type of guy I could follow. I got to be that type of guy in this house, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because it's based around my purpose. I know why I'm that way. The problem is, from my vantage point, it's you guys who have drained the feminine role in society of all of its significance. It's not us. You guys, we were the ones that were saying Marilyn Monroe was the finest specimen of a woman ever. It was you guys that said, no, super skinny women are. So all I'm saying is, this is a consequence of pretending that there are no differentiations between the two of us. And now, instead of
encouraging girls to do X, Y, Z. You got the WNBA. Well, fine, do it. That's what I'm saying is that's not. We didn't do that.
I feel like yeah.
So
I don't know Marilyn Monroe. Why you brought that into it?
When you talked about raising children being the epitome of womanhood, there's no woman in this chat that's going to agree with that.
No, I know that, and I know that like when you see it all the time, like this mockery of if you want to stay home with your kids and take care of your kids, like look, I work my ass off on our jobs. Like we have multiple businesses that we're doing, and I'm returning emails, I'm doing this, I'm setting up streams, I'm doing all these different things. Well, I want to spend time with my kids, so I take my computer down, I'm typing on my computer while I'm surrounded with my kids. But because I'm doing two things at the same time, my patience level's not as good.
Who's ridiculing women who stay home with their kids?
Women do. I know that.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but where did it start? Where did it come from?
Y'all did that.
Yeah, no, I think that the reason that started is because a lot of people were in oppressive environments. Like, that's not all a woman is made for. It's just to raise children.
I agree with that. I agree. I think second and third waves of feminisms are overcorrections. And it's now being dominated by people who I don't think are very mentally stable. Like that woman who wrote that her sons are all future rapists. And then when her sons got upset that their mother shamed them in front of the world, she said that was proof that she was right. That shit is fucking crazy. And I still think we have a long way to go. What I'm saying is that the reason you don't see women banding together around the things that are distinctly feminine is because you guys destroyed that in the 60s and 70s.
How is that even helpful?
Well, it's helpful to know what the problem is so you can get to a solution. But that's not on us. We kept our lane. We kept our lane. We were like, yeah, no, we're not going to hide behind no skirt. If somebody comes to the door, we're going to the door. We held our shit, and you guys, instead of looking at the real enemy, the real oppressor, which was us, you turned on each other and started mocking each other for staying home and being, quote, barefoot and pregnant. We didn't do that. Most of the dudes I know want to be able to have a couple kids and have a girl that loves kids and all. Those are the dudes I know. We didn't, you know what I'm saying? So I understand what you're saying. I get what you're saying, and I get the frustration because there are less and less things that women can be celebrated for that only you guys can do. You know what I'm saying?
And so, like, I know, you watch UFC, like the women's league about it and stuff like that. But it's not like there's sometimes that I watch it and I'm like, oh, that'd be cool to actually like put my strength out there to the degree and not have to worry that you're going to harm somebody else, because that's actually the point, is to get them down. So I think it would be cool to push my body to that point. But when I watch it, I don't really like it because I find something about it offensive, and I don't know if that's like women being violent with other women. Like, it feels like it's so like unnatural and against like.
What about women's gymnastics?
Yeah, I haven't watched women's gymnastics,
because
so I don't really know.
I will tell you, if I had to watch men gymnasts versus female gymnasts, the girls are always more just mind-boggling to me. You know what I'm saying? The figure skating too, but the gymnastics, Carrie Strug, she basically won us a gold. I'll never forget. It was the Atlanta Olympics. I don't know if you guys remember Carrie Strug, but she basically, we needed like a 7 out of 10 or something like that. And she had basically broken her ankle. Mm-hmm. And she fucking, I mean, now I look at it, it's horrible, but I'll tell you what, it was one of the proudest moments to me to be an American, because she went and did that shit, and basically did that shit on a broken ankle. I don't know if you guys remember that. And she won us the gold medal. It was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen in my life. But you want to talk about like digging deep? Because see, I've seen you in childbirth. Like, I've seen you at those moments where like you're digging deep and you're making the decision to quit or to go forward. And I understand it's kind of inevitable with childbirth, but any dude who's ever watched, and no disrespect to the other girls, but you do them all natural. In other words, no epidural or whatever. So you're feeling every ounce of it. You know what I mean? And so, like, I always talk about when they're giving Jesus the gall because it was mixed with basically, it was infused with drugs that would make you a more compliant crucifixion victim. And it said when Jesus tasted it, he spit it out because he wanted to endure all of the pain, like to the peak. And so when you're going through that, and I'm seeing that happen, you know, like I've got an album that has those pictures, and like there's one with your face and all the rest of it. Like that shit is unbelievable to me. Like it's the closest to Christ that I think a human being can come to on this planet. But we don't have forums where that and then the commensurate motherhood is celebrated.
Exactly. And when you even if you talk about a gymnast, that's still not putting on display, like, the only thing that women can do that men can't do is birth children. You can't do it. You can't feed them. You can't do it. Like, you could give them a bottle, but you can't feed them from your body.
No,
and you can't birth them from your body.
I know what you're saying.
You know, like that. And maybe that's my gripe. Maybe that it's that our most intense moments of being, you know, at the epitome of, like, that is when that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a way and a place to display that energy, because in that moment you feel like, I don't know what it's like if you're drugged. I don't think you feel it like this if you're drugged. But if you're not drugged and you experience all the pain for that extended amount of time, and you know that pain is going to bring forth your child, and you feel like your body, you're feeling the baby moving, and you know like where stuff is at if you're conscious of what is happening with your own body. And there's this sort of like intense sort of like you're part of the earth, but you're part of something like supernatural. Like, it's the most amazing feeling ever, which is part of the reason why I don't want the drugs, because I want that feeling, even though the pain is intense.
Reza, you were in
I was in a whole other place.
You were in a completely, like, it's very difficult. It's
like animalistic, but at the same time, it's like, it's the most intensely womanly, insane moment that I ever felt in my entire life, and I've experienced it 3 times. It's insane.
But
there's no sport that displays that.
With Reza, though, like, you were just, it was kind of like you and God. I always felt like a little bit of it was the first time like I felt like an intruder. Like, yo, you should not be here.
Yeah, that was a very spiritual.
You know what I'm saying?
One,
like it was a crazy.
It was me and God.
But the cool thing was, you know, all the nurses were women there, and you know, and the main one was really like good to you. Remember the one?
Yeah, she was really nice, but they don't have what I'm looking for. Like I said to her, I hit that point where I was scared.
Yeah.
And I was like, go ahead.
No, like the old school midwives.
I said to her, because I said to myself, I can't say it out loud. If you say it out loud, then you start like feeling it even more, and it like changes something. So I was like internalizing everything, and I was keeping at a real like strong like, it's such an amazing feeling. But then I started getting scared because I'm like, yo, I have to deliver this child. Like, my bones, what they're going to do, like everything, and my body, what it's going to, and you start like, so I said to the midwife, I was like, I'm getting scared. And I wanted her to tell me something empowering. I'm like, this is her job. Like, by now she must know something that's empowering. And she said, it's okay, you'll get through it.
Well, see, the difference though is that the women at the village, you know, your sister.
I want them to tell me to dig deep. You're gonna, you know.
But your sister, that wouldn't help her like that. You see what I'm saying? My point is, back in the day, you lived with all these women of the village. It was the women of the village that were doing that with you. You didn't go. So this woman doesn't know you. So she's got to be as generic as possible. Now, if she would have known you, I guarantee you she would have been a lot more, you know, selection level, like dig deep, you know.
Yeah.
Here it is, you know, millions have done it before. You're going to do it again, and you're going to teach your daughter, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I want you to connect me to the people behind me, and I want you to drive me on toward the future.
Right.
Because I am birthing the future.
Right, and I can't do that in that moment. I can't. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? So, but if she would have known you, she would have known that's what Soraya needs in that moment. But she doesn't know you. You guys are all disconnected from each other.
Right.
And men are disconnected from each other too. But sports is something that we have where we can come together and we can replicate war without anybody dying because for men, that physical activity is what binds us together. Back in the day, you guys were always together. And everybody's all separated now. We're all individualists. And then the things that are distinctly feminine have been completely denigrated. We don't want dresses. We want pantsuits, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I just wish that women would come back and celebrate the things that are distinctly ours. Like, stop shouting about your abortion. Like, let's be happy that we're birthing children. Let's be happy that we have this. But it's like, I feel like there's so much focus on supporting the women that want to murder their children that there's not support for the women who don't want to. Like, how about we actually want our kids alive? Like, we want to birth our children and we want to raise our children and we want that support that's behind it and stuff.
I don't think it's as simple as that.
If that's what it feels like.
Right. But I don't think it's as simple as that.
That's what it feels like.
There's a lot of factors that go into why they make those decisions. But I agree. Women like you have been completely left behind. They've been completely left behind. And I understand that. But again,
see, Michelle agrees. She just had a baby.
That's not us, though.
Yeah, I know that.
You know
but it's like, well, when are women going to start standing up for each other? And you know,
I think pendulums swing all the time. I think pendulums swing all the time, and I think the pendulum is swinging back. You know what I'm saying? You've got the Chloe's and the you know what I'm saying? That
hold on, some women get off on physical wins, some on mental. I felt unbelievable victory when I was named best of all of it at work. Not the same, but still a victory. Yeah, and to me, like, that's what childbirth, because you have got to keep your fucking mind in the head game, like in the game, because when you're birthing that child, like, if you start panicking about all the pain that you're feeling,
it's the mentally toughest thing I've ever seen in my life.
You will lose. You have to stay on top of it, and you've got to keep, like, I don't give myself even a little tiny, like, if a pin, the thickness of a pin was like a little bit of space that I would give myself for, like, poo-pooing myself for the pain I was feeling. I don't do that. Not at all. I can stay ahead of it. So it's a mental game. It's a physical thing. And by the end of it, it's the most empowering thing ever. Especially if you pull the child out of the womb yourself. That's just a crazy feeling. And if anybody has the opportunity to do it, do not hesitate. You will never experience another moment that's that crazily empowering.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no, I think, you know, being there and seeing it happen, there's just not a lot of words for it. And I think if it was celebrated, we would see that come out more in art and music and the movies we watch and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
You know, but a lot of the times it's just the girls play acting as men, like the 555 thing. It's all these, you know, female intelligence officers, and they've got guns, and they're going around the world shooting people, yada yada yada. Anybody that knows how that game works, that's not how it works. It's just not true. There are female intelligence. It's 555. These female intelligence officers, and they're all like mini Rambos. It's like they can't just be celebrated for the shit that there are actual, like, for example, Zero Dark 30. There was a CIA officer, and she basically brought down Bin Laden, but she wasn't doing all the gunplay. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. She was using her mind, and she stalked that motherfucker. And she'd slept for 2 hours a day for 5-6 years, I think it was. I mean, she was the character in that movie was really a conglomeration of a couple people, most of whom were women. Most of them were women. You see what I'm saying? And so it's like, it's that kind of shit where it's like, and of course with Zero Dark 30, all people think about is the actual, you know, when the SEALs went in there and whatever. But the major thrust of the movie was focused on this woman and how relentless she was at chase. You know, they would call Bin Laden her boyfriend and all that, and that's true. It really did happen. They call her boyfriend, but like, it was focusing on on this woman and how she crafted this and used many times faulty intelligence or incomplete intelligence to create this mosaic where, it was that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I see.
But that's not important. I don't like that because she's using all of what she is to bring about death. And I feel like that's not the epitome of womanhood. You use your mental and physical and all that to bring life.
Well, I don't agree with that at all. I mean, Bin Laden was a murderer.
Yeah, I know.
And so,
he can go. I don't have a problem with that. But I'm saying I don't feel like that shows the epitome of womanhood. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, that would be. I agree with you. It'd be childbirth, but that's something where the society as a whole, Sori, has to celebrate that. You're not going to have a sport that, or even a show or whatever that demonstrates that. But I think a lot of women are craving some form of that camaraderie, that sisterly camaraderie that's kind of primal, and the whole village aspect where the women in the village would get together and they take care of each other and all the rest of it. I think a lot of women in the modern age are craving that. Mm-hmm. And you're certainly craving that. And and the thing is, I told you could have done anything. You could have been a supermodel, or you could have been, and you've got the legs for it. I mean, you're very powerful. You could have done anything in any realm. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I get it, but I also think that you're reacting to a certain degree of loneliness that you have because you don't, throughout your life, you haven't been able to be comfortable around feminine energy for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And, like, I understand that sucks, but if we were more communication and less individualistic, we'd be a lot happier.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree with that. I think a lot of this is this radical individualism. You know what I'm saying? And when you combine it with second and third wave of feminism, and now the fourth wave of feminism, then you get a lot of lonely women who don't have any identity anymore, mm-hmm. and are cut off from their purpose. You know what I'm mm-hmm. saying? Whereas men, we're like, yeah, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're still gonna. So you create these societal sort of rituals that celebrate masculinity, but there aren't those societal rituals that celebrate femininity, I think is what you're saying. Right. And I agree with that.
There's no place to, I'm not going to friggin' birth a child every year so I can have that experience, but there must be something out there that's close to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, war is reflected in the sports. It's like, okay, nobody's dying, but you get to see the skill and all that stuff like war.
You get the resources and the women.
What?
After the war, you get all the resources in the women, right? And so the sports guys.
Yeah, but where is that for women? And like the other thing too is like when the football guys are coming out, or even in the locker room or something, like sometimes they have their shirts off and all that stuff. But it's not like people are, well, I mean, there probably are some people, but it's not like people are thinking like lustfully about them. It's just like when you see them all like built like that, you're like, holy shit, like look at these people. They're really working to work this sport, there's nothing lustful about it. I'm sure that there are some people that take it there, but I'm talking about just like generally speaking.
Do you find that to be true?
And I feel like that there should be something like that for women too. Everything has to get, when women bond, it's much deeper than when dudes say we're buddies. I literally have no clue. I've never bonded with any women like that, so I don't know. And I don't trust women at all, which is very sad. I don't trust them.
You don't trust women at all?
No, I don't. I don't have any women in my life or that I passed, and I don't trust any of them. None.
How much is that due to recent events?
Well, yeah, that had a massive...
Yeah, so like I feel like if you watch this review like in 3 months, you might have a different perspective on it.
Why? Who would I start trusting? What woman in my life?
I think you're too close to. I think you're too close to the events because one happened last week and another one happened like 3 or 4 days ago, and I just think you're way too close to. I think that emotionally, it could put you in a state where you're like fuck all women everywhere. You see what I'm saying?
No, I don't feel like that. I just said I want the sport thing, and I want that. It makes me want it more.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what you just said about women.
That I don't trust them?
You don't trust them and all this. Like, don't you think that you're probably too close to recent events last week to... I mean, I've heard you express that to a degree, but not
I was going to say, I feel like I've been expressing this for years.
Not with this level of, like...
feeling about it. No, I agree. Obviously, recent events have made it a lot more... Yeah.
Yeah, because some pretty significant, it's a betrayal, so some pretty significant...
There's that, and then, seeing, her and how she is with people I care deeply about.
Yeah.
That's not expressing that feminine, like, what we should be.
Right.
What she should be.
She's on the complete opposite.
She's destructive.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm just saying, and obviously... I experienced that for a while too, and you know, you actually reoriented my mind around women actually, because I was dealing with that for such a long time that I was like, oh, this is, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you actually, you know, reoriented that, and then, you know, began to have a relationship with Eve in the Bible and the Blessed Mother and all the rest of it. I'm like, okay, I mean, let's, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, people like that end up having a really corrosive effect on the mind. And what I'm saying is, if you would give yourself like 90 days to look back at this, I'm not saying like you would completely change your opinion on all women. I'm just saying that you would probably have different insights as to where you are 90 days from now. Because I feel like that's coming from, you know, the horrible revelations of last week and the horrible, you know, situation that happened a couple days ago.
I mean, I know that's what you think. I just know that I've been having these thoughts and feelings for a long time, and that was enough to erupt that volcano. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, okay, you know what? I'm so tired of like pretending that there's not an issue here. There's a massive issue, and there's a big miss. Like, there's no, you know, like.
Yeah, but honey, but simultaneously, no, I'm with you. I'm gonna push on you a little bit though, but I think you the world you're currently in is like, it would be impossible to even have that camaraderie, because at some point you've got to trust the women in your life or the friends in your life. At some point you have to trust them in order to get that camaraderie. So on the one hand, you're saying we don't have this camaraderie, the celebration of femininity is gone, but on the other hand, you're saying fuck them, I don't trust any of them. You see what I'm saying? Like, one of those has to give. You got to at some point let that go, and this is something I pray for you a lot, is for you to get a really close friend that's a girl, and you know, I think understanding that's why I said, you know, between the breaks is I think we do better not to judge morally per se, but try to understand why people make the decisions that they make or why they do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's not so that you can let them off the hook, but it's just so that you have more of an understanding of them and yourself. Because I don't think it's healthy to never have at least one close female friend. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, I agree with that.
So you, at some point, you have to trust and open up to somebody.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean?
You know, perhaps when we move and we're around different people. I don't know.
Yeah, and I agree. Up here, it's probably, you know, because it's all parochial, and it's, you know, there's 5 people, and you know, like, I understand that, and you know, there's some serious issues with, because I know that you tried with those people, some of those, but those, again, these are religious people in a very specific subculture, and religious people are not the best people to.
Yeah, but I thought the subculture was really good. It wasn't like the usual.
The subculture was good for everybody except for you, because of how insecure a lot of people were, and just certain kinds of dynamics. You know what I'm saying? But I think in the next phase of our life, around the next couple of people, I think at some point, I'm not saying everybody, but. Like I said, you gotta have some trust at some level.
I think the other thing too was like, where's the friggin' sympathy? You know what I mean? Like, if, you know, as women, we should be nurturers, and so like, even if I don't necessarily like somebody, I'm not gonna sit there and watch them bleed out in front of me. I mean, I'm gonna grab the gauze and I'm gonna help them out. Mm-hmm. And you know, that was not like. Remember there's that story of that guy. I don't remember which it was. He came in and like they all fell on him with the knives. He came into the courtyard or something like that. It's a historical event.
Caesar?
I don't know. He came in and like everybody, and he was like.
And they said et tu, Brute?
I think so.
Yeah, Caesar, Julius Caesar. Yeah.
He got stabbed by all the people.
Everybody in the Senate. Yeah.
Right. That event, like.
That's how you feel.
Yeah.
With women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know. Mm-hmm. Anyway. I don't know why I'm having all this big conversation right now.
Well, it's good. It's good for the soul. I mean, it's been a tough week. It's been a tough week. You've been let down by some pretty significant people, and you've had to see some. you've unfortunately seen the worst version of, feminine energy, but that doesn't mean that you can't trust any of them. See what I'm saying? But anyway, I hear you. Well, that was a fun song.
Yeah, what do you rate it?
9.
8.9.
8.9. Okay. Yeah. Well, one thing I will say is it's always real here, ladies and gents. It's always real here. Yep, there was a song. And we reviewed it.
Yeah, see, and Brooke, that's my thing too. I'm like, most girls that have close friends, they met when they were kids. I'm almost 40.
Well, that's all right. It's not quantity, it's quality. And inshallah, God will give you. There's some nice women out there for you. You and her are gonna do some Thelma and Louise shit, and I'll have to bail you guys out of prison. It'll be fun. And I really do. I based on that heated argumentation, Christina gives it a 666. Christina's kind of like my guitar teacher. She's the one that gives me all them drills and shit.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, that riff in the thing that was Sean. But there's another riff that I play around with that came about one of those drills. All right, well, dear listener, light reading on a Friday morning. Take care of each other. I don't know what else to say, but take care of each other. Be safe out there, and love your neighbor as yourself. Gang, is Inspired Trade. I'm out of here. Vin out.
Sorry out.